Unit 1, Communication Skills 1. Introduction. Communication skill is the most crucial of all life skills. In simple terms, communication is the act of passing information from one place to another. You can do this verbally using your voice, in writing using written or digital materials like books, magazines, websites or emails, graphically using logos, maps, charts or graphs, or non-verbally using your body language, gestures and the tone and pitch of your voice. Effective speaking is typically defined as the ability to communicate appropriately while maintaining eye contact with the audience, to employ a wide vocabulary and to use eloquent communication to meet the demands of the audience. Similar to this, a good writer should be able to convey thoughts and messages to readers through a variety of writing styles and techniques. In every situation, it's important to be able to speak, write, and listen clearly. Therefore, effective communication depends on having strong reading, writing, speaking, and listening skills. Students need to develop these skills in order to succeed in any occupation or business. You can learn any language, but in order to communicate effectively, you must be able to read, write, speak, and listen well. Besides your mother tongue, knowledge of other languages, like English, helps you communicate well with more people around the world. Communication. The word communication comes from the Latin word communicare, meaning to share. Figure 1.1 demonstrates that communication is the sharing of information between two or more people or within a group so that everyone involved may understand one another. Importance of communication. Your ability to communicate clearly and share thoughts, feelings, and ideas will help you in all your relationships. For example, you can inform others about something or influence others through communication. Communication skills are needed to inform. You might need to give facts or information to someone. For example, communicating the venue and details of your birthday party to your friend. Influence. You might need to influence or change someone in an indirect but usually important way. For example, bargaining with a grocery store seller to reduce the price or convincing a friend to come to your party. Express feelings. Having a conversation about your feelings is a healthy way to express them. For example, sharing your excitement about winning the Best Student Award or communicating ideas, feelings, or what's happening around you. Elements of communication. The communication process involves giving and receiving information. Examples of giving information are speaking and writing, while reading and listening are examples of receiving information. Sender. The person who is starting the communication. Message. The information that the sender wants to send. Encoding. The way the sender wants the message to be looked like. Channel. The medium through which the message travels. Receiver. The person who receives the message. Decoding. What the receiver understands. Feedback. The receiver's response to the message. Perspectives in communication. Perspective is an individual's point of view through which we see and understand every communication and event happening around us. Since everyone perceives things differently from others, different people have various perspectives. Our knowledge, beliefs, and intentions serve as the filters through which we communicate and interpret communications. These filters serve as the foundation of our viewpoint and represent how we perceive the world, perceive the people with whom we are in communication, and interact with them. Perspectives need to be clear and without any influence for clear communication. They should not be fixed. For example, if you already have a fixed idea about a person that he or she is arrogant, you will never be able to be friendly with them or understand them. Let us learn about some factors that may influence our perspectives. Factors affecting perspectives in communication. Language. The way that words are interpreted is also influenced by perspectives. Depending on how we use certain words, they might mean quite different things. Most of the time, We assume that our intended meaning is clear, but we cannot always be certain that other people will interpret or hear our comments in the same manner. The interpretation is determined by the receiver's understanding of the word's meaning or connotation. In order to avoid ambiguity, it is best to use words and synonyms that describe exactly the same feeling or idea. Visual perception. Our brain processes and interprets the data received from the eyes. Visual perspectives describe our tendency to concentrate primarily on the elements of a situation that we are most likely to notice. For example, the first image has a number which appears 6 to one person and 9 to another. Both are correct in their interpretation. In the second image, some might see a man playing the saxophone while some may see a face. Thus, we see that
both the perspectives are valid.
Usually, we initially only see one of the perspectives. After some time has passed or when we are instructed to pay closer attention, the second perspective becomes visible. The majority of our visual perceptions involve judgments about the people we are speaking to. Among the conclusions we draw about people are the following: qualification of the person, mental capability of the person, position and the financial status of the person. Past experiences. We behave in accordance with our expectations when we enter a situation or conversation. These are based on the perspectives or viewpoints we have acquired as a result of our prior experiences. For instance, you might be really apprehensive the first time you perform on stage, but once your teacher and students praise your work, you become more at ease and confident. Let us look at a few such situations. Past experience, resulting effect. Amit stammers during his speech and gets embarrassed. He refuses to participate next time, though he is a good speaker. Your classmate refused the last time you asked him to join you for a project. You don't ask him this time, though he may have agreed. All of us have experienced both good and bad things in our lives. We must be careful not to let our prior experiences influence how we act or interact with others. However, some bad experiences can also serve as a warning and aid in our self-defense in risky circumstances. Prejudice. A prejudiced concept or opinion is one that is not supported by logic, reason, or experience. Prejudice is viewed negatively, especially when it involves animosity or intolerance for particular racial or ethnic groups. Prejudices stem from a combination of cultural and individual preferences. Prejudice becomes discrimination when we put our preconceived notions into practice. When we discriminate, we make judgments without making an effort to get the necessary information about the individual or group we are judging. Prejudices include things like social status, gender bias, the way we view persons with disabilities, and hostility towards a specific region or ethnic group. When we categorize people, we do not consider them individuals. As a result, we ignore their unique capabilities, failing to understand them. Prejudices prevent us from communicating effectively with others and getting the results we want. So, regardless of any preconceived notions, the objective while speaking with them should be to see each individual or circumstance from an entirely new perspective. Feelings. There are two ways that our feelings might affect how we communicate with others. The first one is about your current state of mind. When you are feeling good, you will communicate as usual. However, when you are ill or unhappy, you will speak differently. Your state of health changes, which alters how you communicate on a certain day. Consider that your friend comes over while you are having a horrible day. You don't greet him or her politely and respond angrily. It could possibly hurt them. Therefore, acknowledge it if your illness or other physical or mental stress is making it difficult for you to communicate. It will help others understand the change in your communication.
Factors affecting perspectives in communication.
Environment. In different environments, each of us communicates in a different way. Some kids are hesitant to speak up in class, while others like the attention of their peers. Therefore, shy students do not participate in class discussions, even though some students enjoy them and learn more from them. Shy students are better able to communicate their ideas and issues
when the teacher speaks with them one-on-one.
Understanding how your environment affects how you communicate with others will help you see why someone might be communicating in a particular way. This knowledge enables you to design or pick a setting that promotes certain types of communication. For instance, in the example above, if the teacher is aware of the personalities of her students, she may make appropriate decisions for the class. Communication may be difficult due to background noise or other disturbances, such as conversing with a friend while the orchestra is playing loud music at a gathering. Personal factors. Personal aspects include your own thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. For instance, communication difficulties may be brought on by anxiety and low confidence. For example, a student may know the answer well, but when asked in class, he may go blank and not be able to answer due to low confidence. Culture. Culture also affects communication. Signs also have a different meaning in different cultures. For example, showing a thumb may mean good job for some people but may be insulting to others. Another example is that while eye contact is considered important in some cultures, it is impolite in others. In the US, for instance, it's polite to look someone in the eye while they are speaking to you. However, in Indonesia, the reverse is true. In fact, keeping eye contact is considered disrespectful. Attitude. Attitude is a mindset that decides how an individual perceives an idea or a situation and responds to it. The following example illustrates how our attitude influences our perception. Look at the glass of water. Is it half filled or half empty? There are two ways of looking at the glass of water. One begins out thinking of it as half full, while the other thinks of it as half empty. These beliefs of perceptions are influenced by a person's attitude and frame of mind. This example is frequently used as a metaphor for life to distinguish between optimists and pessimists. Completeness. When speaking with someone, your message should be complete and supported by details and justifications. 7 C's of effective communication. Effective communication can happen if we follow the basic principles of professional communication skills. These can be abbreviated as 7 C's, that is, clear, concise, concrete, correct, coherent, complete, and courteous. Let us understand them. Concreteness. More successful audience contact results from clear and specific communications. To ensure that your audience fully understands what you are saying, avoid using ambiguous language. Courteous. Make sure to keep the receiver's emotions and perspectives in mind as you are writing your message, because how well your speech is received will depend on how well it is understood by the audience. Concise. Keep the message impactful, short, and simple for the receiver to understand it clearly. It is important that the message be concise yet complete. Consideration. The ability to relate to and engage the listeners is a powerful speaker's or communicator's strength. You may relate to your audience and deliver the right message with the help of professional knowledge, level of education, and interests. Correctness. The message you express must be accurate, regardless of the topic, language, or medium you use. You must ensure accurate information as well as correct grammar and spelling. Clarity. Even if you follow all the C's of communication mentioned above, your message will not make a strong impact if it is unclear. To leave a lasting impression on your audience, make sure your message is clear and concise. Methods of communication.
There are different methods of communication, which include nonverbal, verbal, and visual methods. Let us understand them.
Effective communication is giving receiving or exchanging of information, opinions or ideas so that the message is completely understood by everybody involved. Verbal communication. Verbal communication is defined as communication to express our views, information and ideas in the form of sound and words. The spoken part usually involves face-to-face communication. Communication through radio, television or mobile phones is also called verbal communication. Written communication can also be considered as verbal communication. Reading books, papers, letters, etc. means decoding the views of the author to learn more. Verbal communication is all about the words which can be spoken or written. There are two aspects for effective verbal communication. One is what to say and another is how to say. People good at verbal communication can easily ask some questions to express the information with confidence. They also know how to represent their words so that people can easily listen. Let's discuss the skills required for effective verbal communication, which are listed below. Listen carefully. We should be well prepared to listen. We should concentrate on the conversation with the speaker rather than thinking about what we will reply to. Maintain eye contact. We should always maintain eye contact with the speaker during the conversation, whether in a meeting or personally. The proper eye contact shows how much we are interested in his or her thoughts. It is also a sign of appreciation for the speaker. Avoid distractions. We should avoid any distractions during the communication, such as checking mobile phones, people passing nearby, opening and closing doors, etc. If there is a lot of noise, we can suggest moving to another place for communication. Do not interrupt the speaker. We should not interrupt the speaker during the conversation. It seems like disrespect for the speaker. Be clear while speaking. Sometimes we require emotional energy to understand what another person wants to say. Always try to be clear while speaking and listening. Focus on non-verbal communication cues. Verbal communication is when two people communicate through speaking, but it also focuses on how we present information. Our speech style is reflected in our facial expressions, body language, eye contact, etc. As a result, non-verbal cues shouldn't be ignored. Be confident. We should always be confident while speaking. Never consider what other people could say. Our abilities and self-worth are displayed through our confidence. Our confidence during our speech is evident in our voice tone, body language, and awareness. Be open-minded. We should refrain from judging or commenting on the speaker. We should respect the opinions and ideas of others because everyone has a different point of view. Be a soft-spoken person. People who talk politely with a smile on their face are more likable. It makes the conversation more effective and adds enjoyment to their lives. Represent the information in short. We shouldn't extend our speech with paragraphs or stories. The listener becomes disinterested and may become distracted as a result. We should strive to convey our thoughts and information in the simplest possible terms. It improves the clarity and interest of our message.